Monk Mode Day 5. Before fully watching this video, I want you to close your eyes, relax your shoulders, unclench your jaw, and breathe like me. Inhale, exhale. Welcome. Today, I want to talk about each and everyone's superiority complex. A superiority complex is one's innate mentality of being superior or higher to someone. This is typically different from arrogance. Arrogance is dangerous and it gets you into a negative position. Superiority complex allows you to think higher of yourself, and it equates to confidence, charisma, and overall being a positive person for yourself and your future self. It allows you to see yourself in a version that's way above yourself right now. And it makes you wonder. It makes you curious of what you'll actually be after you achieve something that is high value. What is it like going in the process? What is it like going through the trenches? What is it like going to the hardships that other people experience to get on a higher level? I want to share the story of an NBA player. If you're not a basketball fan, just bear with me here, but these people that I'm gonna talk about is pretty popular or overwhelmingly famous, I must say, but one stands out and he's not that famous among others. You might know Kobe Bryant, the Mamba mentality. You might know LeBron James, the king of NBA. You might know Michael Jordan. Some or even many of basketball players might consider the greatest of all time. Those three are always neck and neck when they talk about the Mount Rushmore of basketball, the greatest of the greatest, the best players of every generation. They always typically the names that always being thrown out. Is it Michael Jordan or LeBron James? 6-0 in the finals? Or LeBron, who was the greatest scorer of all time? Or the most points in NBA history? But there's one player who actually, according to various or several other NBA players, should be considered one of the names that is being thrown to this GOAT or greatest of all time conversations, is a guy named Vince Carter. Some of you may know him if you're a fan of basketball, some of you may not. But Vince Carter is one of the greatest dunkers in NBA history, but he's not actually regarded as a great player. Vince Carter is an above average, some might say. He's not that typically a star or a superstar, but he's one of the greats to ever do it, to ever lace up. But he didn't have it. And what I mean by it is the superiority complex. He didn't have that Mamba mentality. He didn't have that superiority in him that makes him think that he's way better than his than other NBA players. He's way better than everyone else. And whatever everyone can do, he can do it 3 times better. According to some, he just didn't have that. He didn't have the capacity to be dominant, to be great at what he do, or to be superior. Some say he was too nice, and some says he was too kind to be one of the greats. And that brings enigma to me. Vince Carter has all the accolades, has all the skills, and everything that he needs to be the greatest of all time. But he didn't have it. He didn't have that superiority complex. But people started, or NBA analysts started to see a glimpse of him having the potential when actually he was placed in an uncomfortable position. He played for Toronto Raptors, the only NBA team in Canada. He played for Toronto Raptors, but they traded him. So every time, and Vince Carter got mad. Vince Carter got mad that he got traded. So every time that he play against the Toronto Raptors, he drops 40 points. He drops 50 points to show that he actually is mad. This type of motivation, if only that kind of motivation, if he only carried that each and every time that he played, not only against Toronto Raptors, but every other team and against every other player. Just imagine how great he could have become. That intrinsic motivation to be superior to anyone else. And I would argue that we should all have that. We should all have this competitive ego, you might think. The superiority that even though we try to humble ourselves a lot, we try to give others credit for their life, for the things that we do, for the things that we've suffered in every other levels of our lives. We should feel this superiority within us, that we're better than them. Not in a bad way, but in a competitive way. I always talk a lot about me watching a lot of anime stuff. And one thing I learned in anime is that having this superiority complex, this positive self-talk of I can do anything. I can do the greatest thing that one can accomplish. To be the best out of the best. At the lowest points of my life, I found myself being mad at where I am. And it's funny because up until this point, before filming this video, I was thinking about it. I was giving it thoughts that when I become the best in the industry that I'm trying to penetrate, I'm starting to see myself talking to podcasts, talking to other entrepreneurs of what I did to overcome it all, what mentality I have to be in the position that I am. I read a post that says if you want to be successful, act like you already are. If you want to be in the position of abundance, act like it, even if you don't have it yet. The thinking of being superior is so powerful. It is so underrated because there are so many talented individuals who miss this, who don't have this, and they get surpassed by some who has, by some who have it, by the ones who have the grit, the anger, the madness, and the obsession to actually do it, to be superior, and to dominate others, to compete at the highest level, to be obsessed, to be one of one. And it's so beautiful, a little bit dark, but it's a great weapon. I was repeatedly in the darkest times of my life this year, but I've had this inner self talk of becoming great, being already great, and just kept me of doing this more and more and more, not giving up, not raising the white flag, not being a bitch and try to whine and blame others. No, it's all my responsibility. If I lose, I take all the responsibility. But if I win, I did it. I did it myself because I'm better than you, and I'm gonna prove it. Did you feel it? Did you feel it? The light in my eyes. I know you can see it. The light in my eyes when I say that I'm gonna be successful. And I hope you have this too. I hope you have this healthy, competitive superiority in yourself. I hope you've learned a lot. This is day 5 of monk mode, and we're going strong. We're going strong. Carry on, boys and girls. Thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow.